Welcome back to Financially Free with Latoya and Tracy, the podcast where your journey to financial freedom starts here together. I'm your host, Latoya. If you caught part one of our Life with Rashida series, you heard the real numbers: housing costs, healthcare, employment, and what it actually takes financially to live in Ghana versus the United States. The response has been amazing, and some of you reached out asking for more details about the day-to-day realities of living there. Well, today, in part two, we're diving into exactly that. We're talking about shopping in Ghana, where to go, what to expect, and how to navigate the markets like a local. We're discussing negotiating etiquette because, yes, it is a part of the culture, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. We're also breaking down a question I know many of you have. When should you pay in Ghanaian Cedi versus US dollars? This is crucial information that can save you money and help you avoid common pitfalls. But here's where it gets really exciting. Eshe is opening up about starting a business in Ghana. We're going behind the scenes of how she came to the decision to launch Life with Rashida, what the process looked like, the breakthrough moments that confirmed that she was on the right path, and the incredible opportunities she's discovered along the way. Whether you're considering starting your own venture in an international market, planning a trip to Ghana, or simply curious about what entrepreneurship looks like in West Africa, this conversation is packed with insights you won't find anywhere else. So get comfortable, grab the notebook again, because Eshe is about to share the practical, on the ground knowledge that only comes from actually living it. So let's jump back into my conversation with Eshe.
So when you do first get there, you do need to get cash.
Okay.
So that's first and foremost. Just it's good to have cash. So the Forex Bureau is your best bet. Forex Bureau, check the ones in hotels that cater to expats. So people who are traveling from America or Canada or the UK and whatnot. They generally will give you the best rates.
Okay.
More than likely, somebody, when you land at the airport, is going to be like, oh, I can get you rate, I can get you money. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't use the machines in anybody's airport beforehand. Figure out if you're going to go to the Forex Bureau and what hotel you're going to do it. If you don't know someone, but if you already know somebody, they can direct you on where to go. If not, get you the money themselves. They do like to negotiate depending on where you are in Ghana. So if you go to the markets, be prepared to negotiate. It's almost like an insult if you don't.
So I feel guilty negotiating, but they expect us to negotiate.
They do. They do. That was something I struggled with as well too. Plus, we're from the South, and it's like you should be polite, and that would be rude. So if something was like, let's say it was 50 CDs, which is roughly at right now, that would be about $5 US.
Okay.
I would almost feign like offense, 50, 30, and then the auntie would probably be like, I like your face, 40. And then you'd be like, okay, I'll take 40. And and they love it. And they kind of expect you to do that. So you want to negotiate a little bit when you're in the market. Now, you don't negotiate when you're in the restaurants. The restaurants, the price is the price. One thing you'll have to get used to in Ghana is some things will be offered in US dollar and some things will be offered in Ghana Cedi.
Okay.
So, housing, US dollar. Restaurants, Ghana Cedi.
Okay.
Grocery stores, supermarkets, the outdoor markets, Ghana Cedi. But certain things in those supermarkets you need to do the conversions in your head. Because a trap that Americans can definitely fall into is, oh, this would only be XYZ in USD.
Right.
And so you over tip or you over purchase.
Right.
You have to really shift your mindset into, okay, I'm in Ghana. So is this worth this amount in Ghana Cedi? And not think, oh, it's such a steal because it would be this in USD.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, that was a big change for me too. Like the first few months I was there, I was like doubling what I was paying and everything because, oh, this would only be $5 in the US.
Right.
And that's how people go to Ghana, and then they're like, dang, I'm broke now.
Yeah.
Because you think, oh, it's so cheap compared to USD. So you need to start thinking of, I'm paying in Ghana Cedi. So now I'm like, oh, this is too expensive. I'm not paying 50 cedi for this.
How long have you been there now?
A year and a half.
Oh, wow.
A year and a half. And that took, honestly, about a year for me to fully, like, transition that thinking of, like, oh, no. This isn't worth 50 cedi. No, this is 35 at best. So let's say something was 100 cedi. Just using round numbers because it's easy. And then they might give you back 97. They're like, hey, that might change. They're going to treat you like an American. So you have to respond to them like a Ghanaian. And because no Ghanaian, they would never shortchange a Ghanaian. You have to start treating them, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, madam. And they'll give you your change. And then they will never shortchange you again when you go back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have to like really rethink how you do that. And I mean, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're in their country.
Yeah.
You know, and we do drive up prices.
Right.
You know, when we're there. And so like even I've noticed since I've been there, when I first got there, there were some things. Now there are some things that are definitely twice what I was paying when I first got there.
Wow. In a year and a half.
In a year and a half. Just because of just more expats coming there, more people coming that are not from Ghana, and then also with this new election. So President Mahama, he's a bit more progressive, and since he's been in office already, the Ghanaian dollar has gone up. Like it's just like wow, I could not believe so a bottle of water over there, like if you go to a restaurant, probably like 5 cedis. Which is literally like 5 cents.
5 cents for us.
Yeah.
A bottle of water. And you go to the airport here, it's like $5.
Exactly. You can I would get like the flats of water like we get here, like the 24.
Yeah.
I would get, how many of those would I get? I would get 4 packs of 15. And they were each 750 milliliters. So I would get 4 packs of 15 of those for like the equivalent of $7.50.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's some things that are, I mean, absolutely, it's worth it. It's like it's super affordable, if not cheap. But then like the housing, because the way the way their economy works is they try and overprice the things that they know Americans are only paying for. But like food and beverages, they try and keep those manageable.
Because everybody
needs those and they need access to
that. That makes sense.
Yeah. So you have to figure out what kind of life do you want to live in Ghana. I have some American friends in Ghana who literally live like Ghanaians. Like they live like in the middle of like Kokomlemle, that is like one of the Islamic neighborhoods. And the homes are very, very, very modest. By American standards, you were probably, since we're in Durham, I'll say like old school Holloway Street.
Yes.
Is like rural, like General Accra.
Okay.
But like your beautiful home would be pretty much what you pay here is what you would pay in Accra. Okay. As far as like how it's furnished, where it's located.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay this. Absolutely. Absolutely. But your Wi-Fi will be less. Your water will be less. Your electric will be less.
But it'll be prepaid.
It'll be prepaid though. It'll be prepaid. You'll have to be like, you know what? I'm just going to pay X. Now, granted, if you still have like your American dollars,
yes,
you can prepay for like a year. And you probably will be all right. And that's why they do love to see us coming.
Okay.
If we have that capability. But you're not going to get a job there as an American. So you have to be an entrepreneur or you have to have like a digital nomad situation, because it's not going to go on LinkedIn and like start applying for jobs as an American. But those jobs they do reserve for Ghanaians.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
If you do start a business there, which a lot of expats do, you everybody in your business has to be Ghanaian if you want to be successful. You cannot be an American and have a business there and only have Americans that are like front facing.
Right.
Never. You will never ever make any money.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away from them.
Exactly. And they're fine working for you. So like a lot of businesses there are owned by the Lebanese and Asian, mainly China, mainly Chinese people. A lot, but mainly Lebanese. They've been there for a long time, for decades. But everybody that works in the places are Ghanaian.
Yeah.
It's easy to get a business there, though. It is easy. It's easier to start a business there than it is here.
So let's talk about your business there then.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So tell us about that.
Okay. So the business is so funny how, things come to you. I have been working for other people and organizations my whole life.
Same here.
And I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. Everybody has worked for somebody,
Yes.
Educators and professionals and stuff. And my background's always been in hospitality and philanthropy. And a few years ago, I started really just feeling like something was missing from my life. I was feeling really disconnected from everything, like people, the world, myself. And I was just like, I need to do something. I need to like shake up something. I need to go find out what's missing. I had no idea where to start. But one thing about me, the times I have been able to get some clarity is when I made myself very uncomfortable. So I chose to make myself uncomfortable again. And so I started looking for like retreats. Like first it was like those silent retreats, and so I just didn't know, but I was like, let me just start there. Yeah. I need to do something. So I was looking for like silence retreats, and I looked at yoga retreats, and I was just kept Googling and reading stuff. And then I found this thing. It is called School Yoga Institute. And they had this mystical yoga retreat. Didn't know what the heck that was, but it sounded interesting. Right. So I started reading about it. And it was a 24-day process where you were going to get a yoga certification, which was okay. That's cool. I do like yoga. Yeah. But that wasn't my focus. What I really honed in on was that it was 24 days of complete unplug from everything. Yes. No alcohol, no caffeine, and you see how I'm
your
addicted
coffee,
to caffeine.
Your coffee, yes.
No alcohol, no caffeine, no controlled substances. They said they understood that people, some people couldn't completely unplug from everything, but a part of this retreat was you would have to commit to being unplugged from like social media and the electronic world and other people, at least during a significant portion of the day. But they highly suggested you would unplug for 4 days at a time, and then give yourself a day to check in with people. And all of this really, really sounded appealing to me, because I was like, this sounds uncomfortable. This sounds like a big, big challenge for you.
It does sound very uncomfortable.
Right?
Like 4 days
at a time where you are completely unplugged from everything.
How did you feel about that? Did you completely unplug?
I did.
Did it feel good?
It felt amazing.
I'm sure so.
It did. I have never done anything like that before. I mean, I'm not like really attached to social media, but I'm attached to my phone as far as email and being able to text people and, play games and, watch Netflix and Hulu and all of those things.
Yeah.
But when I got in, also this was in Costa Rica, by the way.
Oh, wow.
This was in Costa Rica.
That was, okay, that's important.
The other thing that was so uncomfortable about this experience for me was that this was going to be the first time I ever traveled completely by myself. The other times it was either a work trip or I was traveling with friends, or even if I traveled by myself to the destination, I was meeting up with people I knew. This time, completely by myself. In a country I've never been.
That is uncomfortable.
And completely. I mean, I definitely was like, what's the most uncomfortable I can be? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, let's do it. And so I started planning for this, and I shared it with my two closest girlfriends, and they were like behind me 100%. Like, I was just like, let's go for it. Mm-hmm. And this was part of like when I was quitting my job, it was part of that whole process. I didn't just like wake up and do this. Mm-hmm. I thought about this for about 6 months, and I planned it. Okay. I planned like when I was leaving my job, how I was going to do this. So just putting that out there. Yeah. I don't want to encourage people to do it.
Right. I get it. You have to plan to leave.
Yes. I planned for about 6 months. So when I got to Costa Rica, I got there. One thing about my personality is I do like adventure and I do like uncertainty, but I also like some things. I know something about myself is I need time to acclimate in a way. So I got to Costa Rica at the retreat one day before it started. Okay. And I brought some things with me that were on the approved list, that would make sure that I still felt comfortable. Okay. So one of the, there was no caffeine. I brought some teas, some decaffeinated teas that I knew I wanted. I brought snacks that I knew I would want. I brought my crystals and my incense and things like that. So I would say, even though I was trying to do some things that were going to push me out of my comfort zone, I brought things that I felt like I would need in my space to balance out the feelings of uncomfortability. So I got there a day before everybody else. I think the only people who were there at that point were the instructors. Okay. But I didn't even want to meet them because I wanted some time just to focus on myself. And I got there and I unpacked. The very first night I got there, though, I had my first big uncomfortable experience. There was this huge rainstorm, and we were in the middle of the jungle. It's Costa Rica. I'm not a super outdoorsy person, so that was another thing. I was like, okay, you're about to be in the middle of the jungle with all kinds of creatures. Let's do it. So I had my first experience of that with the rainstorm. All of these creatures just started coming into my living space.
In your living space?
Yes. Lizards. Other things I'm not even sure what they were.
What did you do?
Ants. Like everything. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And so I remember the girl, when she brought me into my room, she was like, oh, and there's bug spray under the sink. I grabbed the bug spray and I started spraying bugs everywhere. But I was like, I can't spray a lizard because lizards aren't bugs.
Right. And they're
kind of almost like human.
Right.
Right. So I was just like standing there with a shoe in one hand and bug spray in the other. And I was like, okay, you cannot spray lizards. Right. You can't kill lizards. Right. It was like, but the ants, they gotta go.
Right. They have to go.
So I did the ants as best I could, and I just let the lizards roam free.
How did you sleep?
I had to. I kept one lamp. I kept the lamp on. I burned my incense, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think the lizards will bother you too much, but the ants and the spiders. Yeah. We're just gonna have to figure this out. So I sprayed like the floor near the door where my bed was, and the patio doors and because it was a beautiful room, patio doors in the living area and in the bedroom area. I had two patio doors in my bedroom. I just sprayed everything, and I just prayed for a short night, child. I was just like, woo. Let's just hope you don't have anything crazy the following morning.
Wow. So
Yeah.
this retreat led you to Ghana and now your own business. And
so I spent 24 days there.
24 days
in Costa Rica during this experience.
Oh my goodness, you did say 24 days.
24 days.
That's almost a month.
Almost a month I was there, and with every single day, I got more and more comfortable with this environment. And the reason, and I got more clarity about what I wanted.
Right.
And the reason why I was able to do that was because for 24 days, all I had to focus on was me. Yeah. Every single meal was prepared for me. I knew mealtime was this. Yoga instruction was this time. Sleep was this time. Snacks would always be in my room. They did my laundry. They refilled my water clay pot. They cleaned my place every single day. And as a woman, especially as a Black woman living in America, when can you honestly say that for 24 days, you didn't have to think about anybody else or anything else but your own well-being?
I can't think of. I mean, I can't even think for 24 minutes when you just have time just to think about yourself. Exactly. So 24 days.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is an absolutely
I want to experience something like that. I think I'm going to. I am going to.
And that's what I'm creating with Life with Rashida.
Okay.
I am creating that for us. I am creating that for us.
I want to do that. I want to do that.
And I mean, it's amazing. I mean, because when you think about the brain space we spend, like I watched you and Tracy since I've been here. Your attention, you're looking at Max, you're looking at your phone, you're looking at Tracy, you're looking at the house.
Right.
You're probably thinking in your head about your grandma and your family and work and your podcast. You know, laundry, grocery store shopping, upcoming holidays.
Have to respond to emails, you know.
Like, when are we not thinking about a task list or a thing we have to do?
I can't, like I said, I can't even think like 24 minutes, like when I'm not thinking about, even when I'm trying to watch TV,
right?
Stuff is still popping up.
It's popping up because you don't have somebody that's taking care of all of those things for you. But that's why I did not check my phone. That fifth day I would go, but I told my family, I was like, listen, this is what I really need. So I'm going to be off grid completely for 4 days at a time. I'm turning my phone off. On the fifth day, I will turn it on. I will say hello so you all know I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I will check my messages to see if anything, and they knew where I was staying and they knew how to contact. If anything was a super, super emergency, like a death or something.
I was going to ask about that.
They knew, okay, you can contact the resort. But if it's nothing like that, please respect this for me. And my family and my girlfriends did. On that fifth day, I would check in where I needed, basically with Erica and Amani, my girlfriends and my parents. And they'd be like, okay, cool. And then even then on that fifth day, I wasn't like on it all day.
Right.
It would check in, and then I put my phone away.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that fifth day. That was like our off day to do whatever we wanted. And that fifth day, different things would happen on the fifth day. The very first fifth day, I thought I was going to go off site of the resort and go see the town and do all kinds of things. But the day did not go according to plan. I had a massage on site, but the weather came, and it was a really bad thunderstorm. And the Uber I had, he had a flat tire. And it was like the universe was just conspiring to say, you should stay on the resort.
Yeah.
And so I chose for the whole 24 days to stay on site. So I didn't even go off site on the fifth day that we all had off. A lot of ladies did. I chose to always stay on site. I always got a massage. I always read. I always slept. And I just sometimes I would be in the pool. But I did not want anything to really impact my little bubble that I had created. And I think that was probably one of the best decisions I made, because some of the other women that I chatted with, some of them said they wish that they probably would not have left the resort on
Right.
the 5th day because it kind of impacted the subsequent days when we would go 4 days on, a day off, 4 days on, because we were still getting a
Yeah.
yoga certification.
Right.
So we were doing a lot of yoga and stuff.
Which you look great, by the way. I can tell you
Thank
do yoga.
you know, I figured if I'm gonna, market this, I need to. I need to
you're
look.
definitely yes. You're marketing, and you look like you do yoga.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so that's how I was able to figure out what was next for me.
Yeah.
And what was next for me was I want to create a space for us to go where we can completely safely unplug and think about what is next. For some of us, it may be what I am doing. And for others, it may be what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to figure out what's next if you have no space for it to come to you.
Right. So how many days would it be, or you're thinking? Would it be the same type of concept, or are you going to tweak some things? Because, 24 days, some people they can't take off work for 24 days. But we really need to do stuff like that. We really need to go and detach.
We do.
And have time for ourselves. Because if I had not resigned from my job, I wouldn't be doing the podcast. I wouldn't be launching a financial coaching app. I wouldn't be doing a lot of things that I'm doing right now. So
exactly.
How would this be for the working person? Like some of my friends who are traditional. How could we make this trip to Ghana to
Life with Rashida?
Life with Rashida. How do we do that?
So I love that you asked this question, and this is so the timing is perfect.
Okay.
So I recognize that taking 24 days is definitely a luxury, sadly, that most of us just don't have, especially right now. So I thought, what if I could do 7 to 10 days? I feel like for most women that are my demographic, and I'll just say my demographic because I recognize it, like it's not an experience that someone right out of college might not be able to do. But I think for most of us, we probably could afford like a 2-week. I'm not saying afford. I don't mean that just financially. I mean, mentally, geographically. Most of us probably can take like 2 weeks off from work.
Yeah.
Most of us can probably take 2 weeks off from our kids. We can either summer camp or family and whatnot. Hopefully. I say 7 to 10 days and then 2 weeks because the process I'm creating, the experience would be 7 to 10 days, but most women would more than likely need a couple of days on the front and the back end of those 7 to 10 days to decompress after the trip and to prepare once you do, as you're getting ready to go. But the experience itself within Ghana, I would say 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Because I didn't want it to be too it can't be so much yoga because most people aren't there to get a yoga certification like I was when I went through my big life-changing experience. My experience, it's more about wellness.
Yes.
It's about mindfulness, movement. And then the other piece that's the most important for me is the impact on the women and girls in Ghana. Because, one of the things that has always been a big part of who I am is philanthropy.
Right.
And I can't be someplace taking from it if I'm not giving back.
Right. Right.
And I feel like some of the times when I've been able to figure out, or not even figure out, I've been able to gain the most clarity is when I've devoted myself to something else. So philanthropy is going to be a part of the Life with Rashida experience.
Okay.
So when women come, they are going to have space to devote themselves to movement. So there'll be some yoga and stretching. And when I say yoga, it's not just for people who are already practicing yoga, because I've always believed that yoga is for every body. Yeah. Regardless of wherever you are. Right. It's more about the mindfulness, understanding your body. So we're not gonna, if you can do a headstand, that's cool. But I don't do headstands in practice because it makes it inaccessible for people. When I'm by myself, that's cool. But I want the yoga and the mindfulness piece to be more of an individual experience. So the yoga is always very accessible for people. I love African music and drumming and dance.
Yeah, I do too. Yes.
Because it's not just about the yoga, it's about the culture, it's about the movement.
Oh my goodness.
You know, a lot of who we are as a people is in that. It's in our DNA. So I'm like, you can't be in an African country
and not
experience
not dance to the drums and I can see it.
I can see you as did you do African dance? You lucky you did
I
African
danced
dance.
in college, but I love African dance.
It awakens something in your spirit.
Now that you can be free in the moment and not think about anything else because you're just dancing.
Exactly.
It
unlocks
awesome.
Something when you give yourself over to that music and to that rhythm. Like I get like people always dance it out. Like sometimes I'm stuck and I'm trying to figure out writing or anything, I move. And generally it's from dance, especially African dance and the drumming.
So I like house music. I love Baltimore house music. Okay. And there's this song called Dance My Pain Away. So every so often I'll just, when I'm in the car, I'll put it on and I'm just like, you know. It is just something about the words and the beat and just dancing it away.
You dance it away.
Okay.
And it opens up that space for you. So over those 7 to 10 days, women will be experiencing yoga and movement, mindfulness, there's meditation. And also, I'm not a big, I'm in the box kind of a person. So some people will hear oh, I can't sit for 30 minutes. I didn't say anything about sitting for 30 minutes. We can do walking meditations.
Right.
We can do cooking. Like it's all about what can you do that clears your mind.
You're in the present moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The present moment.
The present moment. And then the African culture piece of it. So since I've been in Ghana, I've really gotten into understanding how the herbs and the plants work there. So you and I both share an affliction of migraines.
Right.
Do you know I have never had a migraine since I've been in Ghana? I have the same, not just the same prescription, the same pills.
Oh my goodness.
I take rizatriptan. The same 12 tablets of rizatriptan that I had. My prescription has expired.
Oh my
because
goodness.
I have not taken those 12 tablets since last year.
Wow. Well, I keep elatriptan in my purse and, you know, I can't say that I don't experience them, but they have, since I've made the decision that I have to do my own thing, I've noticed that I don't have as many migraines. But yeah, I can't say I haven't, had any. But to be there and not have any, that means you're doing something right.
Exactly. I don't get sick when I'm there. I sleep better. So before my migraine, my migraine cocktail consisted of magnesium and melatonin every night. And then if I, felt one coming, the rizatriptan, and then if like things got really bad, I had quetiapine.
Yeah.
And now I don't take none. I mean, I still take magnesium because it's just good for your muscles, but I don't take it every single night. I don't take any of that stuff anymore. I don't have to. I fall asleep naturally. And because I've been doing it for so long, even now that I'm back in this, and I have had a migraine since I've been back in the States.
Oh my God. And that's just a short period. You've just been here.
I've just been here
last month.
Exactly.
October.
I got here the first full week of October, and I definitely have had a migraine. But I don't have to take the melatonin and the magnesium every single night. I can still fall asleep naturally. And I'm just hopeful that I can still keep that up, because I don't want to break that habit, because I don't like being dependent on those things.
Yeah.
But also being in Ghana, there's more natural things that you can do and take. So there's moringa, there's hibiscus, there's baobab, like all of these different herbs and plants that you can take in dried form, leaf form. You can put them in your smoothies. And you just start to realize the transatlantic slave trade took away so much from us. These natural ways in which that we can heal our bodies.
Yes.
The ways we treat our bodies. And I'm not saying I I definitely, support Western medicine.
Yeah.
I'm more of a both and.
Yeah.
But there's so many natural things that we just don't know about because we don't live in Ghana. We don't live anywhere in Africa.
Right.
So a part of this retreat and this experience is introducing some of these things that, just naturally are available to us that we can bring back to the U.S. So that's a part of the retreat. And then there will be a period of time where we're volunteering with women and girls in Ghana.
I like that.
So there are some big issues there with women and girls. One is access to health care and feminine care. It's just not as easily accessible. It depends on, where you live, what kind of money you have. There are definitely some areas, villages, where women and girls don't have access to basic feminine care. And so when their monthly menstruation comes, girls, they stay at home.
Wow.
They can't go to school. Or they take mud and put that into their panties, in their undergarments, to absorb their menstruation. Or they sit over a hole in their it's yeah. In some areas it's still considered part of like witchcraft, and so girls are shunned. And so they literally have to stay inside for those 5 to 7 days
something natural.
Because of something natural that occurs. And think about if we had to miss school 1 week a month,
or work, or anything,
you would continuously fall behind if you had to do that, starting when once your period started. Can you imagine as a woman?
No.
So being able to provide those kinds of, like, when I come back and forth, I have a suitcase and I pack it with not tampons, because that's not something they use there often, but panty liners and pads. You just pack it to the brim with those things. When COVID tests. So that's a part of it. Another part of it will be entrepreneurship. So some of us, maybe you can't bring things, but you have a skill set.
Right.
So maybe you can help women understand, financial, empowerment, how to budget. Maybe it's teaching them how to build their business. Maybe it's writing a grant to help them have funding. Another big issue there is clean water.
Yeah.
Access to clean water. Through Nazan Love, I was just having a conversation with a gentleman who is trying to figure out how to create this box that can purify water, which would be a game changer over there.
Yeah.
Because water there is in bottles, plastic bottles. And plastic, though, it like litters the beaches across so much. But there is not really a very strong water filtration system that cleans water there. So figuring out those ways that I would love to be able to have anybody that comes to experience one of these retreats, they would also have an opportunity to donate time, resources, or money to some of these organizations that are doing that kind of work there.
We're traveling there anyways.
Exactly.
So we can just have another bag
Yep.
with all of the feminine products that we can donate as a part of the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you think about it. You take that suitcase, right, or that bag. You have all that stuff that you brought from the U.S. Now you have an empty bag.
We can buy to support their economy and bring stuff back from Ghana.
Exactly.
So many experiences in that trip.
Exactly.
I like it. I love it.
You help yourself, you help the community, and you may even help other women.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that was really life-changing for me, where I was. We all came from different walks of life, different demographics, and I connected with a few different women, but there was another Black woman where I was, and mine was not just focused on African American women and women of the diaspora. I still, like I said, had a life-changing experience.
Right. I would expect that, because if you're doing 24 days, a lot of times we don't have that luxury.
Right. So it was me and two other black women. And the other black woman, she was very, well established. And the other black woman, she was a young girl. One thing that they did with that retreat, though, to make it more accessible, which I thought is something that I would definitely want to implement, is you could either have a single room that, was definitely more expensive, or you could do 2 people in one room, 3 people in one room, or 4 people even, and they had the beds according. Now, for me, for what I was going for, I didn't want anybody else's energy
Right.
in my living space, because I knew what I was there for. And one of the big things I was trying to do is eliminate everybody else, because at that point in my life, I realized that I had in my head my mom's thoughts about who I should be, my dad's thoughts, my siblings, my girlfriends, like everybody else's perspective. You know what? You'd be great at this. You should consider this. So I didn't want anything else to influence me. I really wanted to devote myself to the experience and to a solo experience.
Right.
So back to your original question about how do I plan on making this accessible? I want to make it accessible for women who can do a 7 to 10 day experience. But then I also want to make it accessible for women who maybe can't do a 7 to 10 day experience. So while I'm here in North Carolina, I'm doing this, it's called a minimum viable experience.
Okay.
I want to see here, how could I create this experience for women in person, outside of Ghana, and or virtually. So I'm going to condense the in-person 7 to 10 day experience that would happen in Ghana and see how I can do that here in Durham, or in the Triangle area. And I'm going to ask 8 women to see if they can devote 1 to 2 hours a week over the next 3 weeks. And it'll have some yoga and mindfulness and movement. There will be a session that talks about the African herbs and the plants and their uses and the rituals and how you do that. And there will be a day where we spend some time with an organization here that focuses on women and girls here in the area. And we're going to close out the experience with an authentic West African dinner. And there'll be music and all of the things. So I'm going to test this out, because there will be some in-person pieces and there will be some virtual stuff. And while I know it's not exactly that, but that could be something that is enough. I want to see if it's enough to make women say, at least, is it enough to like jumpstart something within them? Is it enough to trigger them to say, you know what, I know something is missing. Let me try this experience to see how I feel. Because some people, they can't devote that much time, but can you devote, because that's honestly how I started. Can you devote 1 hour, 2 hours to yourself a week? And I did that. So before I went to Costa Rica, I did this thing. It's called the 28-day reinvention road trip with another black woman. Her name is Jess Ava Hart. And it was 28 days.
Okay.
And for 28 days, we were supposed to devote 1 hour a day to ourselves to do something. And she had like this curriculum that she had created, beautiful curriculum. And that's really what jump-started. Like, it was right after the pandemic. It was still pandemic, but it was once we had like the vaccine and people were starting to come out of it. So it was like mid 2021 is when I started this process with Jess. And she was testing some things out, and she wanted me to join. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And then when she launched like the full cohort is when I participated. And for 1 hour a day, you would do something. Sometimes we were writing. Sometimes we were, doing like in the booklet, she had like little exercises that you would do. And ideally, at the end of the 28 days, you would walk away with a couple of things. One, if you could do that, that meant that you could easily devote an hour a day to yourself.
Right.
What else can you do?
Mm-hmm.
Did you come out of it with, like next steps? And for me, that's how I came out of that experience saying to myself, it's time. That's when I realized I was no longer feeling fulfilled in the work I was doing
Mm-hmm.
at the organization I was at.
Right.
And I needed to make a change.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what that change was yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went into 28 day thinking, like, what's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I feeling so stuck and unstuck? And like, it just felt like, ugh.
Right.
But then I came out of 28 day knowing you got to leave this organization. And
Yeah.
that was a big, 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 big decision that I wasn't really ready to make
Mm-hmm.
or verbalize. I think subconsciously I knew I needed to leave.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
I totally know.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so that was like, okay. And so I think maybe if I can offer something like that to some women, that can be like the first baby step.
Yeah.
And then they can like, okay, you know what? This felt good for me. Let me see if I can fully unplug and
Mm-hmm.
go to another country and spend 10 days
Mm-hmm.
and just devote it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you can devote 24 days at some point. Because I do recognize I didn't just go from nothing to 24 days either.
Yeah.
It's definitely like an incremental process. And I think also it's being okay with being uncomfortable.
What an incredible conversation. We've covered shopping in Ghana, negotiating etiquette, when to use CD versus US dollars, and gone behind the scenes of how Eshe launched Life with Rashida. But we're not done yet. In our final episode of this series, part 3, we're going to talk about something that I think will resonate with so many of you: pursuing your next thing and being uncomfortable doing so. Because let's be honest, making a major life change, starting a business in another country, or even just considering living abroad is all uncomfortable. And that discomfort stops a lot of people in their tracks. Isha is going to share her honest perspective on navigating that discomfort, and she'll leave us with some final thoughts about Ghana. We're also going to briefly discuss MoCo, Money with Confidence, my financial coaching and literacy app that's launching in Q1 of 2026. I'm excited to share more about how MoCo can support you and your own financial journey. So make sure you're subscribed because part 3 is the conclusion of this series and you're not going to want to miss it. Until then, keep those notes handy, keep researching, and keep asking yourself, what's my next thing? Thanks so much for listening to Financially Free with Latoya and Tracy. See you in part 3.